Energy moves along the path of least resistance. Robert Fritz. When we find ourselves embroiled in conflict, our prefrontal cortex can shut down, putting us in fight, freeze, or flee mode, all of which generate resistance. Again, energy moves along the path of least resistance. In this state, productive conversations often turn into arguments. Arguing for your limitations is often a waste of time and energy. In fact, it is a waste of time and energy. At best, you may achieve compliance, which is not sustainable. However, by adopting a curious approach to conflict, you can reduce resistance and reach mutually beneficial conclusions. This conversational approach for addressing tough topics helps to foster genuine commitment from all parties involved. In this video, I will provide a framework for engaging in tough conversations, effectively addressing the elephant in the room. By following this framework, you will undoubtedly increase your confidence, build positive connections, and create space for future collaboration in the workplace. Welcome to the Agile Leader channel with me, Pia Fitzgerald, where we specialize in providing content to help increase confidence, connection, and collaboration. All right, so here's the framework. You might want to get a piece of paper and take some notes down for this one, okay? And I will tell you in advance, you're going to be like, man, this is doing a lot for a conversation. But when there's conflict, you need to do a lot, or what may seem to be a lot. And in fact, if you practice this more and more, even for things that are not conversations that you're going to have that may not be as tough, but still it'll become like second nature. So initially, it may be like a lot, but just go with the flow. Trust the process. All right, here we go. So before you have this tough conversation, there are a couple things I want you to do, some pre-work. I want you to take a moment and ask yourself, well, what is the issue? What's really going on that I need to have this conversation? Because remember, people are not the problem. The problem is always the problem. Number two, before the conversation, I want you to ask yourself, what are you afraid of? Deep, huh? I have to ask myself that question. What am I afraid of when I'm triggered? Because it gives me clarity on what's really going on. So ask yourself, what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? Then I want you to set your intentions for the conversation. What do you want to accomplish? How do you want to show up in the conversation? You need to calm and center yourself. Do some breath work, whatever you need to do. Dance, do something fun. Take your mind away from it before you engage. And also determine when is the best time and maybe location to have this conversation, because timing is crucial. And it may not be perfect, but what is the best time? Okay? Because you don't want to avoid waiting for the most perfect time. Now, during the conversation, I want you to practice generous listening. And in a nutshell, that simply means being open and not always waiting to make sure you can get your words in. You are truly listening and considering what the other person is bringing to the table without judgment. That's generous listening. And to help you with generous listening, you want to honor the 4 agreements by Don Ruiz, which is don't take anything personal, be impeccable with your words, make no assumptions, and only do your best. You're a human person having a conversation with a human being doing human things. Only commit to doing your best. And then I want you to, during the conversation, to commit to remain curious instead of critical. I want you to commit to remaining curious instead of critical. And then after the conversation, I want you to express gratitude internally and externally, saying thank you for your time, for listening, or talking with me about this. And then thank yourself and have gratitude just that you were able to have this experience, no matter what the outcome. I want you to reflect on, how did you listen during that conversation? This is all about elevation, becoming more self-aware, personal and professional development. Yeah, I want you to do this after the conversation so that the next time you'll be even better. And then finally, after the conversation, I want you to celebrate the work. Do something to celebrate, to acknowledge, yeah, this happened. And I'm glad that I was able to do it. Again, no matter what the outcome. All right, now, here's the thing. Here's the part during the actual conversation, what I want you to do. The first thing, you need to identify the issue. Because remember, people are not the problem. The problem is the problem. So you want to talk about, put out there, what is the issue? Why are we here? And then 2, describe the impact. How is this problem affecting you and how the problem may be affecting the team? You may even ask the other person, how do they believe the problem is affecting, or this issue is affecting other people or themselves? Share your concerns. That's number 4. And then 5, consider the benefits. What good things could happen if you guys solve this problem? Have a conversation, but put that thing out there. These lines of questions, these discussion points helps to keep you guys focused on the problem and not the emotions that the problem may be bringing up. Number 6, weigh the cost. What could go wrong if we ignore the problem? Discuss that amongst each other. What are the consequences if the issue is ignored? This is a way of trying to get you guys to come closer together, to get on the same page, to get in alignment. Number 7, understand each other's views. How does the other person see the problem? Which I told you to kind of do that at the beginning, but come back to that. Listen carefully, ask questions to understand better, and avoid judging. Avoid taking it personal, avoid making assumptions. Number 8, collaborate by trying to find solutions together. Work together to come up with ideas that benefit both sides. You don't need to compromise. Keep working until it works for everyone. You do not need to compromise. And then 9, plan your action steps. Decide what each of you will do to help solve the problem. Agree on what to do if the problem happens again, because it might. What are we going to do if this comes up again? And then number 10, foster a healthy relationship. Agree on ways to keep your relationship moving forward, and keep it simple. Keep it simple. All right. And here's a bonus. I talked about feelings a little earlier when I was giving you the steps. Now, maybe if this were an intimate relationship, with your significant other, your partner, maybe you want to, earlier in the conversation, not only talk about the impact, or as part of talking about the impact, you can share how this problem is making you feel. And then ask them also, how is the problem making them feel? And it's a bonus. The reason why I have it as a bonus, because I find in a professional setting, I want you to it's better when people deal with the emotional energy around it in advance, get that out the way so that it doesn't creep back up, so that you guys can have a healthy dialogue. That's just been my experience of working with people with conflict management. So bonus thing, express your feelings, maybe more with the intimate, difficult conversations. Okay, but by adopting a curious mindset and applying this framework that was provided, you will transform how you handle conflicts. This approach not only enhances your confidence, think about that for a second. You just had a courageous conversation. Of course, you're going to be more confident, but also strengthens your connections with colleagues and fosters a collaborative environment. Embrace curiosity over criticism, and watch as your workplace becomes more cohesive, innovative, and resilient. Remember what Robert Fritz says: energy moves along the path of least resistance. You need good energy to do what you need to do. You want to cultivate good energy that boosts confidence, increases healthy connections, and expands productive collaboration. All right, before I go, I want to channel my Patch Adams and put a little chuckle in your heart. You ready? Why did the sandwich avoid tough conversations? Because it didn't want to deal with the beef. I like that one. You should like it too. You can bless my pants by liking, sharing, and subscribing to this channel. Thank you for watching, and have a winning week.